up a sword and get some fucking style. That ready ain't fire, super tired. Most your role models are some good liars. The rest are just lucky that they survive. Cause anyone can get touched when it's hammer time. I can only do it to save my life. I'm kicking back, being cool, it's a crazy life. Bullseye, so how you feeling?
You know, you can't let them have the power to tell you what shit is, because if that was the case, Dirtbag Dan said that shit. He goes, I don't play that mumble rap shit. He goes, I'm not gonna let a negative person have the right to give anything a title or a description. He goes, because if that was the case, then this shit would be called hibbity hop. And that was the realest shit I ever read, because it's true. People that don't like mumble rap will call it mumble rap, but that's rap, that's hip hop. Yoga for your ears, over the under, off the branch, milk money. You can find me on all forms of social media, Instagram, Soundcloud, Bandcamp, Twitter, Facebook. I have an unreleased album that I did with a producer named S9 called If Time Had a Place. That'll be coming out sometime this year. I'm working on something with Julian Jara for Over the Under. And I have a maxi single that I'm gonna be releasing as well that's previously not released. I'm a little behind these days. Like, I actually enjoy a whole lot of the music that's out now. And as far as the whole mumble rap, or whatever the derogatory terms for it are, I can't really give it any of that because I can't even really do that. I can't even emulate that style, so it's really not that easy, you know? Migos, all that, I'm not my head to anything really now. As far as the overall messages, do they pertain to me? Not all the time, but I can relate to damn near anything that the new kids are doing. But will I do that? No. Well, it's like, what are you doing with your point of view, though? Like, you want to campaign it? Like they campaigned mumble rap. There's t-shirts, there's fucking stickers, you know? There's like Instagram accounts like dedicated to slandering it. And that's just like a fucking huge waste of energy. Because if it was really that whack, right? Mumble rap was really that whack, it wouldn't be around already, it'd be done. Where's Vanilla Ice? And they didn't have nothing to say about Vanilla Ice. He just fell the fuck off because he wasn't authentic enough, you know? So anytime something's got some kind of nickname, you're already doing something right, because they're already trying to, you know, deter you or distract you from what's really going on, which is some innovative ass shit. Because Race Merman, or, you know, the Ear Drummers is fucking one of the hardest duos I've heard since the fucking Outkast. Those fools are ridiculous. In the past, I'd have to say probably Hieroglyphics was really huge for me, and then Living Legends came like right with that. But then there's just so many breakoffs: AC Alone, Project Blowed, you know, just so many West Coast legends, you know, and really from there it just kind of just snowballed into everything. I really appreciate everything, even like some of the worst shit on earth. I can find some gold in it as far as music goes. But a new inspiration, I don't really have any new inspiration. I'm pretty like based in my solid foundation. My daughter is mostly an inspiration to me, just to be around, leave something for her, you know, whether it's music or not, you know. I get more inspiration out of everyday life, pain, you know, just funny shit you see in the streets, art, TV, commercials. I never really got a lot of musical inspiration from music, you know. I thought the whole point of music was to take everything going on around you in the world and in life and turn it into music. So for me to use music as inspiration is just kind of a little pretentious. I don't know, when I first started, I didn't really, I was getting to know what I was doing at the same time as learning how to do it. So like, I would come home from school like 6th, 7th, 8th grade and put on other rap music and would just freestyle over the song with the lyrics and everything. And I would do it for so long that it got to the point where the lyrics on the original tracks just weren't even there anymore. I'd find pockets in the beats. So I got really good at improving and freestyling and not being distracted by outside noise and everything. So that was like really my foundation, was to freestyle. And I wanted to rap my entire life. From 1992 when Snoop came out with What's My Name, I remember seeing that after flipping through, you know, CMT and watching Alabama and VH1 and watching like, you know, Sinead O'Connor shit, and I seen that, and it just like, it touched me in a weird ass way. Like I felt very moved by it, like the energy of it and everything that was going on. But still at that age, you don't, you know, I was assimilating to what I thought I was supposed to talk about, because I was literally like 7, 8, 9 years old. And my best friend had a little Casio keyboard that had like drum loops and everything. and he would put the drum loop on, slow the tempo down, play keys, and I would literally just, I make your hoe suck my meat, you know, just like anything that I thought I was supposed to say from shit I had already heard was exactly how I started. And we were young, and even then he was like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And I didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about because I was a child, you know, but it just never left. So by the time I hit 6th grade, I wanted to be a rapper. I was a rapper, but I still didn't know how to write at 16. I didn't know anything about making a beat. I didn't know anything about writing a song at all. I didn't know what a bridge was, a hook was. None of that shit existed. So improv was all I had. So eventually the only way that I could not be stagnant in the rhyme formations and everything was to switch it up on my own. So at that point, I was very, very good at that. And I could write songs once I learned what a 16 was and an 8 was and everything like that. But it wasn't until I started trying to make beats that I actually learned how to structure a song from beginning to end, whether or not the production was there already or it wasn't there. Because I'd sit there in front of drum loops and melodies and mids and highs, and I'd hear all these different little dings. You know, you cut a sample and you hear the main sample, but then there's this little bloop, 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 bloop that's in there from how you snipped it. So I'd find these little pockets, and then my melodics went through the fucking roof. My ability to develop different deliveries and cadences and everything like that was just, it was crazy. And I didn't even really catch on to how much I had been growing because I spent so many hours sitting there making beats, and the beats were cool, you know, but what it did for me as a songwriter actually kind of like just elevated me even past my own friends because they didn't sit there and make beats all day. And so now I'm a much stronger songwriter, and I'm an amazing performer after, you know, almost 20 years of rapping in public, from improving and doing shows with other groups and stuff. But my main focus now is just like harnessing it and becoming a really high quality recording artist. As far as Squa, when he was 18, I was untouchable. Squa at 32 is a very, very controlled chaos. I can still experiment enough within my own strengths, I guess. So I don't know, man. Squa 5.0, we'll see what happens. We'll see where I end up. Guilty pleasure. You know what I like the Higher Brothers. You heard that shit? Like 88 Rising label, they're like from China. Ping pong ball made in China, you never heard that shit? Oh, man. She said that she didn't love me. I don't know, I like everything now. Like I've already crossed over in like international rap, so like, get out of my way. Fuck, for real. I want folks speaking Turkish and shit on my record, you know, I don't know. There's really nothing that you can't do, you just gotta do it right. You know, I don't know if you believe it, they'll believe it, pretty much. But yeah, no guilt, there's no guilt over here. I was at an MC competition in San Francisco in 2004, where you just, you perform a song and then another MC will perform his song and the crowd will judge. And like damn near every rapper there all had the same production from the same producer named Joey T, and we all kind of knew each other, so it was like comfortable, but it was awkward at the same time. And I did my first song, and 2 verses in, I was murdered it. I was getting like hella love, and I already knew that I had the round done, and then the 3rd verse came, and I just had no breath at all. And I kind of just like fizzled out in front of a San Francisco crowd, which is fucking just never good for anybody. It was probably one of the worst when I was young. And then a group, Grains of Sand, falling apart in like 2009. One of the members was just on drugs hella bad, and we showed up after the headliner had already performed, and they still let us rap. And the whole time we're trying to perform, he's just like, you know, berating the crowd in the mic and slamming it down. And that was probably the most embarrassing for me on a personal level, because something I loved to do was tarnished hella bad by somebody that I loved at the exact same time. And I literally knew that was the last show as the group and everything, and that was probably like the worst for me on an overall level. I overcame it by, I don't know, man, forgiveness, you know? I don't, like, it's not like we were hella popular, so me sitting around and dwelling on how, you know, our unknown group fell off, it wasn't gonna do anything. I just felt bad because we were friends, so it created like a separation between us. But at the same time, I overcame it by now I'm an amazing solo artist and lyricist, you know? I mean, I'm notarized, I get a lot of recognition. As far as residuals and shit, I mean, what has money done for anything, you know? So I overcame it by adapting to not having a group anymore and having to be me stand on my own too. So, I mean, I guess everything happens for a reason, because I mean, now I'm getting into this interview, it's Squa. Biggest accomplishment musically? Performing in front of 2,700 people at Warrior Day out here was a huge one for me. Opening up for Action Bronson at San Diego State prior to like his surge in fame in front of 1,900 people was a huge accomplishment. We won a local award, a Mom Award in 2009. To be, you know, recognized by your own area, that was a huge accomplishment, because, you know, it's real salty out here, and no one really supports anything because we don't know how. You have to compete out here because we don't have anything out here, so you only got one shot, I guess, is what it is. So to get that award was special, because it makes you feel like you actually are being appreciated for what you're trying to do. That's about all I can think of as far as musically. I don't know. Every song is an accomplishment, really. Sometimes I'll hear them. I'll hear songs because I don't really like listen to my music like nonstop. So like there'll be moments where I have to like go back and listen to stuff to like really get every single word. But dude, I have so many lyrics. You know, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but like I layer bars and metaphors up and correlate them to each other sometimes in such intricate ways that I know that they're over everybody's head. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason they're not over mine is because I know what the fuck I was writing. I don't know. I think I'm a very talented lyricist. I can't really pinpoint anything. I mean, when I was 18, I said just because I'm a noun doesn't mean you can treat me like an object. And I thought I was the shit, but I probably transcended that, I don't know, tenfold. Listen to me. There's a song called When I'm Gone. Looking at life with a stone face. Straight from the branch with my own faith. You know, played them like plagues in the old days. You know, when I was still in my troll phase. Hey, they don't care about your successes. They only want to hear about the struggles. Well, I'm not worried about no successors, because I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. And I'm not worried about no life lessons. I spent a lifetime being humble. If I was into making first impressions, I could turn your house to rubble. They filling out the apps will want the checks first, then turn around and quit before they get to work. They said life ain't fair when we was kids. Then why these clowns got the games rigged? The internet is a benefit to everybody except my generation, I feel like, except for the ones that were ahead of the curve. Because I literally, by the time I was putting CDs out and was trying to stand out in front of shows and sell CDs, people were already past mini discs and they were on MP3 players, and I just really didn't catch that wave. Because I wanted to make albums, I wanted to have press-ups and just do what the people that influenced me and that I watched coming up do. So I was always a little behind, but anyone that really learned that this whole digital era on time or ahead of time, it can't do anything but benefit you, because you're limitless, you know? Like, I can release music right now and only promote it to Europe, you know, overseas, and build a huge following and never leave this country, you know? And there was no way to do that when I first started doing music. It was impossible. You had to pay somebody to take your stuff over there at least, or you had to go tour over there, or you had to get in magazines. Like, you had to work for your press. Now, I mean, you can get a lot of press for free almost, you know, if you know how to use these sites. And it just gives everyone a lane. Now, should everyone have a lane? No, you know. That's why, you know, senior citizens aren't allowed to drive at a certain point. Some motherfuckers don't have it. That's not for me to say though, you know, but it definitely has watered down the game. But at the same time, it just allows opportunity for the people that aren't going to be beaten by the numbers, you know, to strengthen themselves to probably even greater odds than they would if the internet didn't exist. Because before, you had to like dig for music. Now it's like in your face all day. Like, people are sharing it, or there's ads on the side, or there's news clips, you know. So I don't know, it's hard to say. The internet is definitely a benefit for all of mankind, and at the same time, it's pretty much its number one downfall at this point. You know, convenience will kill the world. So So a lot of people aren't taking time to learn the history of hip hop, especially, or just music in general. You know, like where's classic rock? No one makes that anymore. Like how'd that happen? You know, those things I wonder. Like, there's not gonna be another Tom Petty or Aerosmith or Leonard Skinner. Like, no one can emulate that sound, and I don't understand why. And I really believe it comes from not spending all this time learning instruments or learning music theories or feels, because the internet has so many of them now. You just pick, oh, I want to do that, or I can do that, or everyone's doing that, so what can we do? And before, you didn't have to worry about any of those things, you know, like you couldn't be a dime a dozen because there wasn't a dozen, you know. If that makes any sense, I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel like I'm anybody to even talk about shit like this, because I don't even have ASCAP. You know, like the fact that that's still your favorite song and it's 15 years old, like that's the kind of music I make. And that's when I got out of that whole underground mind of like, oh, fuck the mainstream, because they no longer even mattered to me anymore. Because I'm not even capable of making pop music, I guess. Now, can I make songs that are hella catchy and will win? Of course. But that's when I just said, about the time that underground hip hop died because of Kanye West and Pharrell and people like that putting skateboards and, you know, multicolors and shit in their imagery, I realized that it didn't matter. Like, mainstream, the only reason you're mainstream is if, you know, you're a product or if you're super pop and you ride that wave. Other than that, you're lucky, you know. And just, I could never make anything pop like that, so I just stopped worrying about it. And I started to enjoy that for what they do. And it actually made me a better artist, really, because you got less bitterness and, you know, hang-ups in your outlook on what you're doing in the first place. And you actually can absorb a little levels of fun and, you know, patterns that you wouldn't normally use, but you still use them in your own way to some extent. It allows you to be more creative, you know. A lot of people think that they're outside the box, you know what I'm saying, but they're still just like stuck in the lid, you know what I mean? What's up, it's Squa, Over the Under, Yoga for Your Ears, Milk Money, Off the Branch, just your average MC. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Bandcamp, Soundcloud, and whatnot. Snapchat, holla.
Mr. Spot. Mr. Spot.
Oh, son.
Oh, fuck. That would have been the end.
Yeah.
Put it like that.
Oh, let's talk about it.
What are we talking about?
Exactly what you did
Talk
when you
about
came in here.
9 inches of hard white synthetic leather, or the unheard of Nike pump action, or the fact that these are the Billy Hoyles. The white man can't jump. It's hard motherfucking work making something this pretty look like a kid. I don't know. I like shoes.